All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been off for a while, but welcome back to the Keenan Cast, your favorite podcast about Keenan, where we are sad to announce that due to the passing of Kenan Thompson, we are now...
That's not real.
A Carrot Top fan cast. That's right. We've been through our Gallagher arc. We've been through our Kenan Thompson arc. Now we are here for Carrot Top, our buff, big boy. So anyway, now you guys have footage of me saying that if you ever need to blackmail me or something.
I'm sure those words could be rearranged in a more entertaining order.
Buff, big, ladies are sad due to the passing of Carrot Top.
Right. Welcome back to New Cammack. In the last session, our gang investigated 2 of the 5 locations that the Horseman Famine is expected to visit in her quest to blanket the city in a curse that will lead to the starvation and diablerie of all vampires within. While at the city's municipal airport and its recycling center, they attempted to feed from mortals to determine if this starvation curse is already in effect. At the airport, Darby could in fact feed, but at the recycling center, Augustyn's attempt was thwarted, and the status of the recycling center is still unknown. Let's go into some details about what happened there. At the airport, Darby convinced David Cuprum, a meth-addicted helicopter pilot who used to work for Prince Randolph Delacroix and often flew the drunken former prince and his guests around the city on requests, to take him on a helicopter ride to Darby Manor, where Randy's own helicopter lied in wait under a tarp. While in the air on the way to Darby Manor, Darby fed from the pilot, causing him to pass out. But Darby was able to miraculously figure out the basics of how to operate the helicopter and safely landed them at Darby Manor. Despite all odds, just figured out how a helicopter worked while in flight. And now, canonically, officially, knows how to fly a helicopter. However, does not know how to start a helicopter.
No.
That's the hardest part.
Failed that challenge badly.
From Darby Manor, Darby arranged for Chopper Dave to follow him as Darby led the 2 helicopters on a search for crime across the city in the dead of night. Just because why not?
Yeah, I was on one last time. I don't know, man.
Meanwhile, at the recycling center, Excavo, Archibald, and Augustyn discover 3 mute mime ghouls who operate something called the Van of Amazing Savings, which apparently collects and sells stolen goods. These are 3 mimes. They were all mute. In fact, they had little scars over their throats, suggesting that they were all made to be mute surgically. When Augustyn tried to feed from one of them in an attempt to see if famine starvation ritual was in effect in that area, the mime activated some sort of supernatural mime power and briefly created an invisible wall to block Augustyn's attempt. The mime did the "I'm trapped in a box" thing, and Augustyn bounced off of the invisible box. Suddenly, Darby, hunting crime in a helicopter on a whim, discovered a group of people wearing black and stealing things from a recycling center and loading them into a van. So in the same moment, 2 helicopters swoop into the scene at the recycling center as the mimes realize they are under attack from Augustyn and his cohorts. We are now all reunited at the recycling center. Augustyn has just lunged at one of the mimes. The attack was thwarted, and the mime is starting to run back to the other 2 mimes who are by the van in the recycling center. And 2 helicopters are now circling overhead. And who wishes to take an action? It's unclear whether we're in combat now or we're just feeling this out.
I'm surveying the scene here.
I believe that we should beat them at their own game.
Who and what game do you think that is?
I don't think we should. I think, you know how Buffy had that musical episode?
Yep.
This is our mute episode.
What?
I don't think that would make for a very entertaining YouTube show.
We'll beat them by also
Being quieter than them?
Yeah. Now you're getting it.
Some big brain stuff.
So Darby, from the air, you
Yeah.
see something that is immediately, from a distance, identifiable as crime. It's the people dressed in black loading stuff onto a van in the middle of an otherwise unoccupied recycling center. It is now about 3 a.m. No one should be in there.
It don't look like not crime.
Serious mime crime.
Yeah, so I'm throwing this motherfucker into neutral.
Just stall it out.
The helicopter?
Yeah,
It's a
Is
good
that like
thing
a
that
hover
Darby.
mode?
yeah, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's what they do, man. That's fucking. They stay right in one spot anyway. Yeah, so I fucking autopilot because apparently I know how to do that. So I confidently configure the controls as such to hold this motherfucker still. All right. So then, if I recall correctly, there was some sort of rope rig in the back of this here helicopter. Can we talk about that?
Yes. So Randy's helicopter has I don't know helicopters all that well, so I might say something that doesn't make sense to a helicopter nerd. But
The helicopter lobby will forgive you.
I'm gonna say both sides have doors, and both sides have a bungee cord coiled up that could be thrown off the side, and a winch. There's a button for each bungee cord that reels it back up, and the button is in the helicopter. It's integrated into like the floor, we'll say. You hear Dave come over the radio. He notices that you've stopped and you're hovering, and he says, "All right, buddy, you see something?"
I found some crime, Dave. It's fucking go time. Not in my city. Not tonight.
Okay, guess I'll just...
I'm the sheriff of this fucking city, Dave. I have a responsibility to stop crime when I find it, where I find it. And I found it on the ground. So we're going to have to figure this out.
All right,
I got a plan. And he's just like already like fiddling with the ropes. He's just talking kind of absent-mindedly to Dave as he's going about his business. He's like, wait a minute. Okay, so A fastens to B, and then I got a belay here. Hang on. So what were you saying, Dave?
Hey, is there anything you want me to do?
I think you got to watch my 6. Things might go south down there. I need eyes in the sky to make sure that I come out of this okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll be your what do they call it? Overwatch. Yeah, I see three people scurrying around. They're dressed like stagehands, kind of. I might have seen some other people down there, but I can't really tell. We don't have spotlights or anything like that on these helicopters.
Oh no.
I got heightened senses. Do I recognize like my people down there? Can I see well enough to identify individuals, or do I only see the mimes?
Give me a perception plus investigation roll, please.
Oh, I'm asking the right questions. Yes.
3 dice for you.
While he's squinting to see if we're visible and identifiable from above,
Uno.
I am gently placing Paddington on the ground and giving him an abundance of tomatoes to keep him preoccupied and well fed while I pursue these ne'er-do-wells.
How high up are they from us?
Let's say like like 100 feet, like close enough to
Oh.
get a good look at you.
Oh.
Darby, you you can just barely make it out that you spot someone who is not dressed in black, who's not like the others, and who looks familiar, but you can't tell exactly who it is. Someone you don't like, someone you have met, but you can't quite place who it is.
Oh, shit, that guy's in trouble. I gotta act quick. And so I'm trying to execute a number of ideas at the same time. So
Oh no.
I'm trying to strap in to this bungee harness thing. If there's clips that I can clip them to my belt or my pants or tie my shoes.
There's a pretty straightforward way to attach it to your feet. There's like a single boot, like a Curabow's shoe that you can stick both your feet into and cinch it tight.
So what I'm doing is I'm just continuing to hear what I want to hear from my beloved storyteller.
Isn't there like a building you could land on?
No, we're at the airport. Don't worry about it.
He is
It's fine.
going to recycle this helicopter.
So yeah, I got my feet out, and I think there's a moment where I've drawn both my pistols when I'm like standing in the doorway of the open helicopter, just silhouetted against the darkness, ready to fight crime, because I think that I am doing essentially the most heroic thing and perhaps the most badass thing that I have ever done. And it is so fucking stupid to do this that it is just really jazzing up. It is my demeanor to act like this. So I am just leaning into it. And so, yeah, I am going to swan dive. And my intentions are, first off, to be shooting at mimes on my way down. I don't know they're mimes. To be shooting at criminals on my way down with extreme prejudice.
This seems like a Daredevil situation, right?
Jesus.
That's what I'm going for, yeah.
Well,
The remnants would be like, "That's Batman."
And again, as he's prepping to do this, and I know Paddington is situated on the ground, comfortably going to stay within his vicinity, I am desperately chasing.
But what's
after
the bear
mimes,
think about this?
Chasing after the mimes, hollering such things as "Apologies, friend! This is simply a misunderstanding!" and trying to like flag them down because they're clearly ghouls, but like trying to, in broken, bombasticated language, express my dismay at not having just said, like, we needed to test some blood stuffs. But in various extremely broken sentences to the degree that my comrades here also cannot make out what I'm saying, other than I'm just shouting syllables and desperately making gestures while dashing maniacally towards the mimes.
I'm taking cover, and I think even more so if I recognize that it's Darby, not less. I don't know where he's going, who he's shooting at, what he's doing. Like, just getting out of the way.
So I said before that the helicopter is 100 feet off the ground. Picked it kind of arbitrarily. I looked up what the average length of bungee cords are, and also how long they are at their maximum elongation.
Sure.
Is Darby checking any of this stuff? Is he interested in how long the bungee cord is, how far off the ground?
That is a hard negative, sir. This is not, this is the calculation, the thought that this wouldn't be perfectly suited for what he is about to attempt did not remotely cross his mind.
So Chopper Dave succeeded in his perception roll to see what Darby is doing. So you hear over the radio, "Hey, buddy, if you're gonna jump out with the
fuck yeah, I'm
cord,
gonna jump out, Dave. Yeah, fuck."
And do you disregard what he's saying, and do you just jump?
No, he just says that. Like, he's just, like,
Oh.
jacked that Dave figured it out.
He says, hey, you might want to check your altitude, and also your weight might kind of throw the helicopter off a little bit. You really need a pilot behind the seat to correct for the way it tilts it a little bit. Do you want to plan this out differently, buddy?
Oh, man.
Like, yeah, isn't the helicopter like...
What Chopper Dave has just proposed is like a physics challenge to Darby. He's like, oh, yeah, wait, okay. All right, shit. And then he gets over and he just angles the orientation of the helicopter.
Just drifting slightly one way.
Ever so slightly to the right. And then just fucking goes.
No!
Oh. Just whoo! I think that was the end of anything that could have stopped him from doing this.
Torpor. Immediate torpor.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't expect this to go great, honestly. My dude is stupid. That's like part of his vibe.
Immediate torpor. Can't even take another breath in. Torpor.
So I want to rewind and play out what's been happening over the last couple turns on the ground. But first I want to ask, Darby, is there anything particular that you are aiming for? Like into the middle of the dudes in black?
I mean, I guess I feel competent enough to take aim at a particular perp. You know, so I've got my eye on the seediest looking criminal who's threatening the person that I don't like very much but recognize a little bit. And so yeah, I'm trying to shoot him, not like called shot style, but like I am trying to shoot a particular mime.
Oh, you're bungeeing down and
yes,
trying to
the
shoot
shooting.
He's swan diving with guns in his hands?
Yes,
right?
that's right. One gun in each hand. And yeah. I think before we undertake the combat element of it, I would note burning for celerity. I just think that I'm like so amped by doing this that I would just almost reflexively burn for celerity. And I'm going to use that to take a full action with each gun.
Oh my god.
Okay, so when you look down, you see three mimes. One of them is running away from who you've not yet identified as Augustyn, and the other two are just by the van. So you're aiming for the one who's running away from Augustyn?
My initial calculation was that they were threatening Augustyn, and so now I've concluded that that's not actually the case, that the mime is fleeing, that the perp is fleeing Augustyn.
From where you are, it's hard to tell. They're kind of running around, but I'm gonna say you don't know for certain because actually we need to play that out over the.
If there's a pair of them standing by the van, I think the more badass shot to attempt would be to shoot each of them one time, one with each gun, as I'm falling from the air. So this is all played out multiple times in Darby's head. And clearly he's just going to, save the day, and everyone is going to be so thankful that Darby was here. He might get the key to the city.
We're going to go back down to the ground and play out a couple turns before that happens. So I'm going to refer to these mimes as Happy Mime, Sad Mime, and Lady Mime.
Oh, a lady.
Ladies can't have emotions.
The third emotion, lady.
So what happens is Augustyn lunges at Happy Mime, bonks off the invisible wall. Happy Mime gets the attention of the other two mimes, gesticulates at them, and all of a sudden there is a flurry of motion. They're all running around. They're looking at the helicopters, and they're running around in this very exaggerated, panicky, like, ah! And they're looking all around, and they're pointing at, like, nothing in particular, like making a big show of, like, oh no, we have to run, but they're not running away from anything particular. In fact, they're kind of clownishly like circling around the three of you and bumping into you a bunch. And
oh no.
Excavo may have figured this out. So I'm going to do some quick rolls for them.
I don't know if I actually figured something out, but I do feel it's dangerous for the mimes to be mixing with us while Darby is, like, shooting at them.
Oh, I think y'all are in danger. And
Yeah.
I think it's coming from a lot of different directions, and one of them is straight up.
Team
This
Torpor.
is why I am going to, as they are kind of trying to bump into us, I'm creating an invisible barrier around us with
Just
my
with the power of
hands.
your imagination, or
Because the mimes cannot cross through. They have to play by mime rules. So I am creating a cube of safety around our party. I'm now the cleric.
So the three of you see the mimes are running all around, they're panicking, and they're bumping into you. You notice that they're not respecting your cube. Though the one that gets closest to Archibald, you see that one sees the cube thing you're doing and like also acts like there's a cube and then just finds an opening and and moves through it and like bumps into you. And they're all making a little circle.
Yeah, I'm hitting them with my tonfas. They're getting in our cube.
Okay. Before that,
the cube is breached.
Augustyn, could you please give me a perception plus alertness roll? That is 8 dice for you. Jeez.
I would have thought that he would not be very good at perception.
You need it for your weird wizard magic.
And yet.
I do need it for my weird wizard magic. I have clicked roll, but it does not seem to be cooperating.
Yes,
There it
the
is.
plant speed.
Oh, uh-oh.
You notice the happy mime is now in possession of your wand of repairing. And
Yoink!
and the three mimes are continuing to circle around. So actions taken. Excavo is hitting the nearest one to her with a tonfa. Is that correct? Oh, she just stepped away. What about Archibald and Augustyn?
They have not respected my personal space, so I am not playing their game anymore. I have gotten out my weapon. I'm ready to fight these boys.
Augustyn's pretty peeved that somebody took something from his person, especially his favorite stick of disruption, and he is lunged at the one who is nearest, not the one nearest him, but the one who happens to have his sticky do.
That would be you are on the happy mime. Excavo's on the lady mime. Archibald's on the sad mime.
Lady Mime trying to attack me?
Lady Mime bumped into you, just like everyone else.
Oh, fuck it.
That's lazy writing. Of course, Lady Mime goes up against the girl character.
It's just how they were arranged.
Nice.
A cat fight.
So, Augustyn, what are you doing specifically?
Trying to tackle the happy mime to the ground.
And Archibald, are you actually swinging at the sad mime with your hammer or your sickle?
Oh, yes. Hammer. I say...
It's hammer time.
I say... Hey, mime, you better put on your harem pants, 'cause it's hammer time.
Hammer Mime.
It's a hammer mime. You've heard of hammer time, now get ready for hammer mime.
Much better. Let's pretend that's what you said.
Hey, mime, have you been drinking? 'Cause you're hammered.
Oh!
That one's all right too. We can. That was pretty good.
Just
Mine's
we'll
just
fix
like
it in
letting
post.
you workshop your catchphrases.
I'm just gonna get you on.
I feel like they would respect the game if they're
He doesn't
Toreador
really have
mimes.
any opinions on it because he doesn't really know about words.
It's kind of
But
Let's ignore initiative. This is all kind of happening at the same time. Archibald, having announced your attack with a one-liner, the mime is attempting to dodge you and did get 3 successes. Go ahead and give me an attack roll. That is dexterity plus melee for hammering this mime.
Oh, shit.
That is 8
dang.
successes, which becomes 5 successes due to the mime dodging. So go ahead and roll for damage. I believe that's strength plus 1 plus 4 for your extra successes. This is strength
7.
plus 2 actually. So that is
9. Still a lot of fucking dice.
12 dice for damage.
Oh my god.
That is a
This is my first
problematic
good roll.
amount. Whew, all right, go for it.
Okay. Am I about to kill this mime right now?
Ooh,
Yes.
that hammer, don't hurt him.
7 successes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
This
Dang.
boy is bludgeoned. Do I actually get a sound out of him? Please tell me I get a real
The
sound
sound
out
of a
him.
hammer hitting a human being? Yes.
Well, I just heard the sound of it getting no successes on its soak roll. So that was 7 successes. All right. So what is your intention? Are you trying to kill this mime?
Accidentally cuts mime in half with a blunt object.
Because you
Like-
you do have the option to pull your punch and only do as much damage as you want to.
That is the capitulated sound from a storyteller of someone who has just been murdered in one shot. You
Well, I
are
think,
in
like-
control here.
Yeah.
Here is like my thing is I was trying to just get them to back away since they like did not respect our wall and they're not respecting our personal space.
They didn't
But the
respect
thing
this.
is, in so many of our past battles, I have been not having great hammer luck. So I think I have overcorrected. So
I need to step into it. Oh, I really
I
need to.
hit-
Yeah.
You inadvertently kill.
I hit way harder, like expecting that this is not going to work out, or there will be like a mime wall that I run into. But instead, I have destroyed this mime. I think either
Oops.
I really
Hold
like
on.
Augustyn's idea of I cut him in half with hammer. Or I
God.
like the idea of I hit him and there is just a hole in him now that is
Or we
perfectly,
could do like an
end of
homage
hammer.
to Gallagher and just like
Yeah.
the remains splash all over the front row.
Blood mist.
Jesus.
Blood mist.
So
All
this
right.
mime is destroyed. I need to think of a funny thing to say.
Well, let me tell you what you see.
Oh, please.
This so after happening
Put
upon
the hook on
these
this mime.
kind of good-natured like thieves who don't attack you, who don't tell you to fuck off. They're
The
just
Robin
going
Hoods
about
of New Cammack.
yeah, they're going about their thievery. They, doff their cap and like, "Hi, here's our card. We're going to take electronics from this place." And then Augustyn kind of freaks one of them out and they're running around, they're bumping into you. You swing your hammer around and plant it so solidly into the chest of the mime that's closest to you. you see a big dent come out of his back. The head of your hammer...
Looney Tune.
The head of your hammer fully disappears into the chest cavity of the sad mime.
About to be a
Very
whole lot
sad
sadder.
now.
Who I will now cross off of this card.
Absolutely
okay,
gutted after this.
I figured out what I want to
No
say.
recovery. Gone.
Looks like you shouldn't have stood in the splash zone. For listeners unaware, the deceased Gallagher at his concerts his comedy concerts would have an area in the front called the splash zone. If you sat there, you would run the risk of being hit by stray pieces of watermelon and other fruit and vegetable matter.
Yeah. They gave you a tarp, though. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you had to
So
bring
we are
the
also- we're
first
not-
3 rows got like a tarp, and then almost like 7 rows back, people would be in like ponchos and stuff because the debris would go flying.
Did you guys know there are 2 Gallaghers? Or there were 2 Gallaghers?
Gallagher 2, that guy.
Well, I think there were brothers.
Yeah.
And they both toured as Gallagher, yeah.
Yeah. Weird, fucked up. Imagine getting a ticket for Gallagher's brother and not understanding. It's like, wait a minute.
Also,
This
we
is slightly worse.
don't like Gallagher, even though I hate to speak ill of the dead, but he made a lot of problematic jokes in the non-fruit smashing related ones.
I saw him when he came to Muncie, and I also was taken aback by just how much of his set was like making fun of gay people. I was like, that wasn't part of any of his TV specials. I didn't know he did this.
Yeah, it's not great.
Jeff Dunham's set was a little racist.
That's his whole deal.
Oh, did his puppet that was named Ahmed the Dead Terrorist not? Oh,
That was in addition to.
Did the one who is a jalapeno on a stick?
That was the racism that was allowed on TV.
So
I
it's
saw him live.
Yeah, his comedy's pretty racist. It's
It was
true.
worse.
Shocking, I know. Okay, anyway, enough about
This took a turn.
enough about the Keenan cast.
Augustyn, you are taking your mime by surprise. Give me that'd be a dexterity plus brawl roll. You have 2 dots in brawl unexpectedly. Roll 5 dice for me, please.
Rolling there they are. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible.
You do, in fact, tackle the mime, and you are on top of this very, very confused, squirmy, happy mime guy. Excavo, you are swinging your tonfa to take out the lady mime.
This mime touches me. Instant, Tom. Instant.
Give me a dexterity plus melee roll. That is going to be 4 dice for you.
That's what I call
2.
it. Enough.
2's enough. 2 successes.
Now for your damage, please roll strength plus 2 plus 1. That'll be 2 plus 3 is 5 dice. That is 2 bashing damage. You clock the beret right off the head of the lady mime, and she seems a bit dazed. In this moment, Darby comes down. As he gets closer, in a split second, as he's swooping down. I will say this first. I looked up average bungee cord length. I saw 30 to 50 feet. I went with 50 because longer is more fun. And I also saw that bungee cords on average elongate to twice their normal length. So this bungee cord goes at most to 100 feet, which would put Darby like exactly on the ground. at the very bottom of his jump.
Or it stretches, but then he's gonna go back up, right? Because it'll contract?
Yeah.
Is he shooting indiscriminately at this point?
He grabs a mine, brings it back up with him, and then drops it.
No,
Andy
into
has
the
a video
propellers.
if we want to talk about pulley physics.
So
God.
I really wanted something more interesting to happen, like Darby just face plants catastrophically, or Darby just bungee jumps like way out of reach. But the arbitrary numbers that I picked that seem to be reasonable happen to work out exactly for Darby to
His feet graze the ground and whoop.
the very top of his
Mathematical.
chakram
His head,
hat,
actually, yeah.
his wizard razor frisbee hat will
Okay.
That
graze the
fits
ground.
so well. No, it
How's
fits
that on
so
his
well.
head still? How?
It literally fits perfectly. So it doesn't matter what I do. It's like almost supernaturally good. This is the dice. This is the dice saying this. I don't speak.
Rolled a
You
10.
need to
The
roll
dice
for
are
the
the
hat.
talking.
There
I
was
did.
already a roll
Is
for
there a
the hat.
chin strap? Just the little one?
Okay, so as you come down, Darby, you see the scene. You see that of the three people that you clocked, one of them is down on the ground. Someone ran up out of nowhere and clocked him with some sort of weapon. Someone else tackled a second one of these people in black, and someone knocked a third one over the head. So there is one standing and another two that are on the ground. Which of those two are you aiming at?
Well, so I have two actions.
Yes.
2 guns, 2 hands. My plan was to... So people have moved. So Darby is having to kind of change the strategy of what he's doing here.
You can have more actions if you split your dice pool up if you want to shoot more than twice. But yeah, by default, you'd have just 2 actions.
Man, I'm trying to think of... So already Darby is like disappointed. Like this is not working out the way that he had pictured it before he did this. And he's like...
Surprise. Surprise.
Like yelling that these... You ruined everything for me! Augustyn, goddamn... Oh, shit!
Just imagining he springs back up, leaving behind only in the air. God damn it!
God damn it!
Like, you guys don't know that that's Darby, and all of a sudden he just swoops out like, fuck! And he comes back up.
Like, oh my god!
Did you guys?
Toddford! Oops.
Yeah, so I think Darby, in his ultimate disappointment, is trying to think of some way to save making this like badass, knowing that this is just like, if these people are doing what they're doing, like they just don't need this level of intervention. And Darby is pretty crestfallen about this. So I want to take 2 called shots. Darby would like to shoot the kneecaps, both of them, of the one that's still on their feet. And this is just purely out of frustration and trying to show off. So he's upside down, 2 actions, 1 for each kneecap, called shot, which then increases the difficulty rating, I believe.
Yeah, +2. We'll call that, you're targeting a small target. We'll call that +2 difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, I would want the effect of him being incapacitated if I succeeded, but it doesn't necessarily have to do more damage. If that feels like a fair exchange for increased difficulty. Like, I'd want him to be not able to run.
Yeah, gotcha. This is also the lady mime that you're targeting.
Oh.
That tracks.
Well, I better not be in the way.
I mean, it might get interesting if Darby botches the shot, but I think
I've been known.
No.
Had a bad botch last
no.
session. Might do it
I'm
again.
definitely rooting for you now.
Darby has a specialization and
Come on, Darby.
7 dice to roll for this, so you're pretty safe. Go ahead and give me
Famous last words.
Go ahead and give me 2 rolls for this. Difficulty 8, 7 dice with a specialization.
Dose successes.
And give me 1 more. That's 2 successes and 2 successes. Archibald swings his sledgehammer deep into the chest cavity of the sad mime, killing it. Augustyn tackles the happy mime and is on top of him. Excavo bonks the lady mime on the head with her tonfa. The lady mime stumbles backward a few feet, and all of a sudden, Darby just drops into the scene on a bungee cord, miraculously at the perfect length for him to be practically face to face with the lady mime, and pulls out his 2 pistols and shoots both of her kneecaps, which get catastrophically injured. Gore just pours out of the back of the kneecaps, and the lady mime drops down to the ground and immediately bleeds out.
Oops.
I'm just kidding.
And then
wow.
in the next turn, the happy mime is struggling against Augustyn. Everyone has a chance to help him out. And Darby's helicopter... give me a drive roll, please. Let's say intelligence plus drive, difficulty 8, to see if the helicopter is steady or not.
Yeah, wouldn't it have like with the
It's
weight
1.
of him?
That's a
pulling on
1.
the cord.
The very heavy Darby.
1 success.
So, and Darby is now just kind of like bouncing steadily, a bit further off the ground, like maybe 30 to 50 feet up. And the helicopter is just very, very slowly drifting at like a walking pace, just in a direction. And it looks like eventually Darby is going to start very slowly bouncing off of nearby buildings.
So
Does
my
he
intention,
bounce back up on his
that's,
bungee?
See, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
he
like,
should be.
My intention
Yeah.
was on the first parabolic to get as high back up as I could and try to reascend back into the helicopter. I'm trying to be out of this scene entirely. I'm so
just after
disappointed
one.
in all of you. You've ruined my whole night, and I'm taking my helicopter that I found and is mine now, and I am taking it back to the house that's named after me.
As he bounces back up, I'm just like, see you back at the mansion, Darby.
And it's like,
Does he make it
okay,
back
you're
into the
cool.
helicopter?
I do not.
I don't think he would have the velocity on the
no.
return.
Can't get all the way back up, but I can grab higher up the bungee
and then
cord
like
and
climb
pull myself
down.
the rest
Yeah,
of the
okay.
way.
I see what you mean.
So I'm just trying to make this like a much less difficult process, because like the most altitude I'm ever going to have is that first time bouncing back up. And so I'm trying to get to grab 3/4 of the way up the bungee or whatever I can get, and then rope pulley my way back up into the helicopter.
Okay, dexterity plus athletics, standard difficulty. There'll be 8 dice for you. That makes a lot more sense. Just grabbing the cord
Just
at some
grabbing
point
the
and
cord
then
itself.
just climbing.
I thought Darby would just reach for like the helicopter itself, like.
Sure would be a shame if somebody cut that bungee cord.
It's 3.
Yep. So you are, as the helicopter is slowly drifting but not into any obstacle, you are slowly and laboriously climbing up the bungee cord. It's difficult, but you are eventually going to make it back into the helicopter.
The only thing I want to call out before my next turn is the moment that I get back in there, I'm staring right at Chopper Dave and I'm giving him a wink. And I'm just acting like this is the kind of shit that I do all the time. And I'm like playing it hella casual, getting back in the driver's seat and turning it around, going home. I think we stopped a crime here tonight.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And you just hear over the radio, I've never seen anyone do that. So Darby is on his way back to Darby Manor, and now the 3 of you...
Fair escape, motherfuckers.
Yeah, the 3 of you have the opportunity to gang up on the Happy Mime. What
Is he still
or
happy?
interrogate.
I mean,
What is the mime's emotional state?
yeah. Can I read the mime's aura real quick?
Should I roll for
just like
perception?
a nibble?
Happy makeup, but kind of panicked facial expression underneath.
Okay.
It's like,
So dumb
Happy
question,
makeup, panicked face, I think is the episode title.
so
is
so
this
from
Abby?
so I tackled him to the ground. I heard the gunshots ring out. I assume I heard a thump, like a wet thump, and somebody slouch over to the ground.
Oh, wet thump.
Sort of like the sound of like a knife going into a pumpkin. Or starting to-
Augustyn, have you finished yours yet?
But I imagine I'm not aware of exactly the scene that just unfolded behind me. Like, exactly as it is. Like, I assume there was violence, but I don't know how dead anyone is.
Extremely.
as
Well,
I-
you
turns
definitely
out.
heard Darby yelling. Like, that part should have been...
There is also, and we heard Archie's like catchphrase. At the end.
Yeah, him
So-
workshopping all of those, like, death lines.
Yeah.
So
The
having
splash zone, really.
having not looked back at the scene whatsoever, I'm still just like on top of Happy Clown, frantically trying to assemble a sentence to the effect of, "Comrade, this is all a misunderstanding. I fundamentally wish to test a theorem with you.
A little late for
but
that.
alas, miscommunications and poor judgment. You got the better of my frontal lobe." And then I look back to presumably gesture at, like, introducing my comrades to see, only to see that his two buddies are very apparently deceased.
So dead.
And upon seeing it, turn back with a sigh. And a sigh and an under my breath apology, and I feed on him until he passes out.
All right. So you swoop down. In one turn, you get 3 blood points out of this dude, confirming that the recycling center is not under the effect of Famine's ritual.
Hey, that's why we came here.
But a few moments after you swoop in and start drinking blood, you hear the sound of 2 approaching vehicles. Around the corners of nearby buildings, you start seeing red and blue flashing lights, and almost immediately, 2 cop cars pull up right alongside the mime's van, and you hear from one of the cop cars someone get on a loudspeaker and say, "Stay where you are. We'll open fire." It happens just as suddenly as I described it. Shockingly fast, these 2 cop cars pull in, screech to a halt right in front of you, and you see police officers inside the cars turning, looking at you, and telling you guys not to move.
I point to the deceased mime at the ground and say, "They started it."
So the happy mime,
My character's not here, so I gotta get my dinner. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Can I use Mask of 1,000 Faces to disguise myself?
Yes. What do you disguise yourself as?
The police chief, do it!
Darby.
Just
No, I'm kidding.
you could just
No.
be not you.
I just want to be like
Be a cop.
citizen 24601 or whatever. Just
Sure.
like
Yeah, you do that.
24601.
So, Augustyn, the mime underneath you starts to move and struggle, and is like reacting to the cops that pulled up, and is trying to get to his feet. Is this something that you allow?
Shit, so I didn't drink enough to make him pass out. Is he moving with less strength than he did when I first tackled him?
Definitely wobbly. Yeah.
I make sure to, as he's struggling to get up, get my wand of repair, like grab it from his hand, and as soon as I have that secured, allow him the rest of his getting up.
Please give me a dexterity plus melee roll, difficulty 7. That would be 4 dice, difficulty 7.
I got 1 success.
1 success. You snatch your wand back from the mime, and here's what you see. You see the 2 cop cars. They each have a police officer in them, and they're keeping an eye on you. They're staying in the car. They seem to be on the radio or something. And the mime in front of you stumbles to his feet and grabs the other 2 mimes by their legs and starts slowly dragging them up to the van. This takes a few seconds. Does anyone do anything or intervene or anything?
Can I scoot away?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go away.
Yeah, you can move freely.
Yeah.
So Excavo skedaddles.
Like, they're distracted by this mime dragging 2 other mimes.
100%.
That's pretty good cover.
Archibald and Augustyn. Do you just stay put like the cops say and then wait to see what their move is?
Y'all are so fucking lucky Darby is not there. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, oh my god.
I'd be spitting.
I would already be taunting.
It'd be cool if we could get a ride for Darby right now.
It would be very
Is the
cool.
helicopter still just hovering above?
No, both of the helicopters have ambled
they
on
left.
to
Okay.
Darby Manor.
Okay.
So the cops there are 2 cop cars. I assume like a total of 4 cops.
And they look like they're imminently going to get out of their cars and confront you, but they've just told you not to move.
They're gonna take my stuff.
Are we being charged with a crime?
Oh, do they see me move? I don't want them
Go
to
with some
notice
sovereign
me.
citizen stuff. I think that'll...
Are you going to detain me, officer?
Over these dead bodies? Are you sure? Is that really
I don't have
enough
to
for
say
you?
anything. These are as you can see, these aren't people. They are mimes. You can tell by how quiet they're being.
We're just holding them for a friend.
I very as calmly
swear
and
these
low
dead
key
mimes-
as I can.
These are not ours.
Everyone's doing it.
What does Augustyn do?
As calmly, non-aggressively, and low-key as he is able, Augustyn attempts to beckon Paddington back to his side.
Wait,
Where's the bear?
Augustyn, I have an idea. I'm gonna whisper so it doesn't seem like we're communicating. Augustyn, try to repair the mimes with your wand.
So
It's a big brain
It'd be
shit.
like,
Reassemble, Stephanie!
We were just
Assemble those
pretending.
kneecaps, please.
We were just playing around.
all right,
Like
so
blocks. I don't know.
so what you see while the police officers they haven't gotten out of the cars yet, but they're watching you like a hawk, with this creepy like T-1000 unblinking stare. The mime drags the surviving mime. Drags the 2 dead mimes into the van of amazing savings, closes the door, and starts driving away.
Do the cops react to the mimes?
Yeah,
At all.
what the heck?
The cops repeat over the radio, "Stay where you are, we'll open fire." And they're all eye contact with any of you that are looking in this direction, which might not be Excavo if she's already like booked it in the other direction.
So they didn't. They
I'm just,
saw,
like, hiding
but
behind
didn't
a thing.
respond to the moving mimes whatsoever.
It's as if it seems like they didn't notice they seem to be addressing you. They're looking in your direction, and the van of amazing savings is driving in the other direction from where they're looking. This is after they pulled up basically alongside the van. They were right there. So you
So
see,
you're still like right by the. Oh my god.
so if there's no intervention or anything, you see the mimes van like go a distance back through the recycling center grounds and through the big opening in the fence that you'd spotted earlier that they must have gotten the van in through. And it drives out of the recycling center and off into the night.
I'm going to text Darby. I assume that I'm hidden. I'm going to text Darby that he needs to get back here and pick us up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tell him what happened, or do you just say, come and get us?
No, I just say come and get us. I don't say, like I was thinking, maybe I say, like, the fuzz is here or something. No.
Well, does he know that the mimes got away?
He isn't there for this, right? Like, he's
No.
out.
He only knows what you're going to tell him.
I'm just going to say...
And what he might see on the way back.
He might see the van driving away. Be like, no, we're still at the... So we're still at the recycling center.
But he thinks you just need a ride. So he's like, all right, okay, whatever. So he's not in a hurry, but he's like... He tells Shopper Dave he's got to go pick his friends up.
Yeah.
Augustyn, please give me a perception plus alertness roll. That's 8 dice. Difficulty 9.
It's a hard-ass roll. Have we had a 9 difficulty roll before?
I don't remember.
Not that I
You didn't get there. That's a botcherino.
That is a botch.
You know what? Archibald, you're allowed to try the same thing. That is 4 dice for you, difficulty 9.
What is it? What is this that we're trying to do?
Ooh.
You don't know.
Oh, I got one.
You got 2 successes. So as you see the van of amazing savings drive off away from the scene and through the fence in the back of the recycling center, you see just a brief glimpse through this fence of a person who was standing outside the recycling center and just watching all of this. You see a 4th mime just watching in the shadows outside of the recycling center. And the 3 mimes you just engaged with were wearing like long-sleeved black shirts, basically, and berets, and they all looked more or less uniform. This mime looked different, though. Unlike all the other mimes in this gang, he is wearing a regular suit jacket and a bowler hat and a button-down white shirt. And instead of having his whole face painted, he has a different pattern. He has paint only covering the middle of his face, leaving his forehead and his mustache and beard untouched. He's also remarkably tall. He's about 6.5 feet tall. And he's standing there just kind of glaring at the scene, and you see him step out of view. This is a guy maybe, honestly, like 200 feet away. You can just barely make out the details. And you're looking like over the tops of the cop cars with their bright lights, and you catch a glimpse of this dude. So once again, these 2 cop cars, someone gets on the loudspeaker and says, "Stay where you are, or we'll open fire."
The cops aren't there. Augustyn picks Paddington up and tries to walk very calmly in the direction that the van...
This is a fucking flex, man. I hope you are right. Wow!
Paddington Jr. now.
What?
Like
Dang.
between the cop cars?
Yeah.
Could I tell that this is like an illusion? Could I perceive? that
What
it's an
indication do we have? Good luck.
They haven't gotten out of their cars. They haven't
Well-
drawn their weapons. They never looked at the mimes or the vehicle they pulled up next to. They've repeated robotically, which indicates to me it's an illusion
And
of
let's
some
remember,
kind.
the mime could not have called the cops because he can't talk.
You know what? Fuck
Or
it.
they're
I
part
think
of the
that's
vampire
valid.
hunters.
Yeah, I'm going to try and very calmly walk between the police cars.
I would like to see a retelling of Twilight where instead of vampires and werewolves, it is vampires and their actual mortal enemy, mimes.
So, Excavo, in answer to your question of, like, can I perceive that this is an illusion?
Yeah.
You turn on all of your Auspex powers. And this, as far as you can tell, these are cop cars, and there are humans
Oh no.
in the cop cars, and they have auras that read as human. Augustyn, you are very slowly, with your bear, walking between these cop cars, and you're looking at the cops, and the cops are they're maintaining eye contact with Archibald and Excavo back where they were, like, originally looking, and they look ready to get out of their cars, but they're not moving yet.
Do I make it to the other side of the cop cars?
They don't stop you.
Well, they could be, like, entranced or something, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
A hypnotic suggestion.
And this is at the edge of the recycling center. Is that right? Like, are we positioned near the perimeter of the property?
You're kind of in the middle of it.
If they're still not... If I'm on the other side of them and they have not stopped me... I just keep fucking going. I'm just gonna keep walking, and as soon as there's something that can obscure their potential line of sight, should they choose to turn around for some reason, I skirt to the other side of it and just keep going. At this point, Augustyn's bewildered as hell. Just like, I can't believe that worked. And yeah, he's pressing his luck. He
You can do
Wait,
that
Augustyn,
quite easily.
Did you test out whether you could drink the mime?
Yes, we can.
It worked? Okay. Okay, I, like, shrug and just start walking and join you. Also just way more leisurely than you did. Being like, oh, well, okay.
Wait, what happened?
Suddenly, one of the police officers gets on the loudspeaker and says, "Stay where you are, or we'll open fire."
And I am just like, a hail of bullets just penetrates me. No, I just keep walking.
Yeah, they continue
stayed
looking
in.
in the same direction, which is where you were standing originally. And they're not getting out of the car. You're now walking in the opposite direction from where I think Excavo was walking. Does Excavo join the other two?
Oh, I stay where I'm at. I don't have any reason to think that they're not human because I'm hidden and I see their aura to be humans.
Augustyn and I are just leaving. I yell back, Excavo, we'll see you at the house.
Okay, that happens, and I'm like, wait, what in the world? So I get up. So they're really just, like, not moving?
Yeah, we think they're just entranced.
They look poised to get out of their cars, but they're not moving yet.
Wait. These cop cars have technology in them.
Big time.
Wait. What can
Hack
I take?
the cops.
What can I take?
Do you check out the cars?
Yeah.
To see what's inside?
Yes.
You look inside and you see all the normal stuff that you'd see in a cop car, like a complicated looking radio and a laptop on a little stand.
Can I take the laptop?
You would need to reach over a police officer in the passenger seat of the cop car to do that. Do you do that?
They're not moving. I think so.
They're maintaining aggressive eye contact with you, but other than that, they're not moving. It's very strange.
And I don't look like me still. Like, I'm still just a person.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I do it very quickly. Well, as quickly as I can.
As you make contact with
no.
the door of the cop car, you brace yourself against it because you anticipate like leaning in and grabbing a laptop, and you stumble a bit as your hand passes right through the door, and in an instant, the entire cop car vanishes in a puff of logic. And
a very good illusion.
A puff of logic.
And there is no cop car there anymore. And it kind of feels like there was never a cop car there. But there is still the other one that is hanging out and doing the same thing.
And like I think I'm gonna wave my hand through like the front area of the cop car. Like
Funny if you just
like
slap
to
it.
just touch like
Solid.
feigning touching the top but like not leaning on it to make the other one disappear. Like I think it's like a bubble.
It looks to all of your senses like a cop car. You expect to slam your hand down on the hood, and it passes right through. And in a moment, there's no cop car there anymore.
Well, all right. Well, shoot. Now Darby's on his way here, and we're gonna leave.
Serves him right.
No, just text him back.
No.
Let him have this.
Let him feel like a savior for a little bit longer.
Okay, so if Darby gets back there and he doesn't find you guys, he's going to start looking around. He's going to be suspicious,
he's gonna see us
maybe he'll find Uber Mime Man all by himself. And wouldn't you be sad if he killed Darby? What would you do then?
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time.
Okay.
We're just confident because we feel like you're invincible.
Darby also feels like that, and that's probably pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Probably not great.
I mean...
But yeah, so Darby shows back up at the recycling center and immediately starts looking around, suspecting that his friends are in trouble.
We're on foot. We can't be that far.
So, where are you guys going to? Like, what's your destination?
Home, probably.
Yeah.
You drove there. You can go to your car.
Yeah,
and
where's
drive
our
back.
car?
To the car and then home.
Just parked it on the street.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'd have to hotwire it again to get back home.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I think the wires are just
Step
hanging
aside.
down now.
I know what to do.
Darby's going to love that. I did want to share this. I wrote up a list of things that Darby's helicopter was going to crash into depending on the outcome of rolling a d10. Because I don't think we're going to use this at this point. And this was specific to the area of the recycling center.
Sure.
From 10 down to 1, the list goes, the helicopter crashes into a small lake, into a nearby field. And this is like not so bad outcomes to very bad outcomes. Lake, field, 8 is in a vacant lot. 7 is in an empty intersection. 6 is into a concrete factory. 5 is into a Staples. 4 is into a gas station. 3 is into a police station. 2 is...
Seems bad. How are there 2 worse than that?
2 is onto the group's car. Whatever they drove there in. And 1 is the helicopter would crash into the largest nearby group of PCs. Like if Augustyn and Archibald are standing next to each other, that's where the helicopter would land. On them.
Oh my
But
god.
fear not. I know what I'm doing. Everything worked out great. Didn't have to roll the fail dice at all.
Flawless.
Archibald, you get a text from Barry Bilson, who was asked to go to Camp Moonlight and to try... Or you asked him to go to Camp Moonlight and let us know what you find. Barry has just texted you back and said, nothing special. What should I be looking for?
So I text him to ask if he is able to feed.
After a couple minutes, he replies, yep.
Sick. I text him, you up?
You text us to Barry?
Yes.
He replies again, yep.
I text Netflix and chill.
Why?
He replies back, nope.
I text back K.
You get the 3 dots of him typing a reply and then nothing.
Just like usual. This is very true to life for me.
So we have the option of ending the session right here, or if there are any short intentions that you guys wanna do that might take.
I think for me it's going to be probably better to call it a night.
Okay, so everyone is heading their way back to Darby Manor.
Not Darby. No, Darby was summoned to go and pick everybody back up at the recycling center. He doesn't find anyone there and is then looking for suspects. He's back on the prowl. They got Darby back on the hunt now because he thinks his friends are in danger.
I put up the bat signal. He is not going to bed.
Yeah, Darby doesn't find anything, and there's a chance that you could just spot their vehicle driving away.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm looking around. I probably would have flown right over them. Almost certainly. I was coming from the same place that they were going. And if I see them driving back home, I'm going to be pissed. So I would like to make a perception check to determine if I notice them.
You know, given that there would not be a lot of cars on the road at this time.
At whatever hour, yeah. What is it, like 2, 3 in the morning?
We started at 3, so it's
little...
It's 3:15.
3, yeah, something like that. So I'm going to say, Darby, give me a perception plus alertness roll. That'll be 5. Difficulty 4. Yep.
100%.
You spot one of the vehicles. I don't remember which one. You spot the group's vehicle.
I'm just going to roll 1d10 difficulty my willpower.
just to see if you just flip out on him.
Frenzy.
Yeah. That's a 3. So what is the result of that?
Okay, so Darby is like now buzzing their car, following them home. Like right behind them, like the Italian Job, like fully coming for them, clearly pissed, like swerving around, just making a total ass out of himself.
I feel like we notice a helicopter swirling around the car.
This is not a secret. This is not a secret.
North by Northwest situation.
Yeah. He's like spinning in front of the car, so you see him, so you make eye contact with him.
Can I fuck with him and text back? But seriously, we need help. Come get us. Back at the recycling plant.
Oh my god.
Do you want to do that? Is that what you want to do?
Because I know you can see us. I am making you funny. I'm having a joke. This is fun.
You want to make a funny with Darby right now? Who just lost a challenge against his own willpower? Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, go for it. Okay.
How does Darby respond to that? By the way, he is texting and helicoptering, which...
Helicoptering extremely erratically.
I also text Darby, and I say...
Who's driving?
And I say, you up?
Oh no, is Augustyn driving?
He's literally up.
We're all texting and driving. None of us are driving. We're all just texting.
Paddington is driving.
We've just pulled over so we can all text him.
Just like Toon says, you know.
We're swerving all around the road, just texting with abandon. He's texting and helicoptering with abandon.
How does Darby respond to this provocation?
This whole campaign has been leading up to a very poignant after-school special about texting and driving.
Texting and driving?
So there's just like this cacophony of Darby like harassing everybody, and he gets that second text, and everything just goes quiet.
Oh no.
Just
in his brain.
no, everywhere. The pursuit of the helicopter just slows down, and he fades farther and farther away, and he sends back just the letter K, and you don't hear or see another peep out of Darby for the rest of the night.
That's the most chilling thing Darby's ever done. This is like his...
Has he continued his pursuit?
No, he flies directly away from you guys, and you have no idea where he went, and he is gone.
This is like the Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 moment.
That's right. It's exactly the energy I'm going for.
I'm fine.
Just terrifyingly still. The rest of the gang ends up at Darby Manor to regroup. Do they find Darby landing in his helicopter there?
They do not.
No?
They do not.
No.
All right. So that is where we will end tonight's session. And in the next session, we will figure out what your next moves are going to be. You have something like 3 hours until sunrise, and the next day is pretty much as soon as you get up, you're going to have to go to Club Wonderland for your chess date with Famine.
Hell yeah!
So the next 3 hours could be spent preparing for that. Also, we'll find out what has happened with Darby. So that is pretty exciting. Archibald, you have 22 points that you can spend.
I am once again going to just save. And I probably after the next session, like once we get ready for the chess match, I'm going to like level up and just like do a whole thing.
Next session might include the chess match. Of course.
Then I will. Yeah. Then I might look over my options and then maybe like level up either over our break or like at the beginning of next session, because I have no idea what I would want, but I should probably get a few points of something before we do that.
Yep, that's fair. And
probably another wits.
And I don't think anything really prevents you from just saving it until like at whatever moment you want. You're like, actually, I want another dot of this in the middle of this fight.
My Super Saiyan 2 transformation.
There you go. Augustyn, you have 12 points. You have bought a couple more dots of thaumaturgy, but you've yet to go to the chantry to actually learn these powers. So they will activate as soon as you can pull that off. But is there anything you would like to purchase with your 12 available points? And what did you do in the last? You did tackle a person. You do qualify to bump up your dexterity.
It is 4 times current level.
So exactly 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go for a 4th dot in dexterity.
Dope. That dexterity is comes in handy in a lot of ways. 4th dot of dexterity. You are extremely dexterous.
I need to figure out a good specialization, because I imagine tackling is not a dexterity specialization.
It can be, in fact.
Tackling is like actually really combat effective mechanic in this game, but it's hard to follow up with your particular set of stats because you don't grapple, so you just knock somebody down and then kind of be done.
If you can hold someone, that allows you to bite them, and biting a vampire, for instance, does aggravated damage rather than just lethal. Well, it does aggravated damage to anything. So that is a handy way to do damage that can't be soaked by anyone who doesn't have fortitude.
Okay, so this is kind of a wild, brainstormy type question, but what would your thoughts be on the stats necessary to use your mouth as a vehicle for delivering seeds into people's flesh?
Dude. I mean, dexterity.
All right, tackling it is.
But you could make your own version of a thaumaturgical power that gives you essentially, like, venom in your fangs.
Oh, that's just fucking cool. I wish I was half as creative as you. That's awesome.
Take it with my blessing. Graham gave you the ability to write your own powers, so make that a ritual or something that you can inject people with your... I don't want to say it like that. I stopped myself from phrasing it very
Poison
poorly.
venom.
You're going to say seed, right?
I was, and it like the thought felt wrong, and then I was able to stop.
You would
myself
just be
from saying
pumping load after load.
Would you stop it? God bless.
Okay, so that's no more
Family
experience
game.
points for Augustyn. Darby, you have 18, and after the next session, you'll have 20, and you'll be able to buy a 6th dot of strength. Are you still saving up for that?
I am indeed, and I am very excited for the reveal of that. And if there is I hope you'll indulge me a little bit, since I've committed to this 20 experience points journey, that if there is a moment in next session where it would benefit my objectives to, like, Hulk out.
Maybe Super Saiyan.
Grant me some grace to do that one half session early.
Oh, sure. And that brings us alphabetically to Excavo, who has 6 experience points.
Can I get a point of melee?
Yes, indeed you can. That is...
How much is it?
Your second ability is...
2 dots?
4... Yeah, it'll be 2.
Yeah, it's 2 times current level. The first dot is actually more expensive, and that's the case in a couple of different things, where there's a penalty to open up a new category, but then the per dot multiplier is actually not that high.
Oh, so just 2 points then. Okay.
Yeah.
The second dot of your discipline is, like, trivially cheap compared to the first dot of a new discipline.
Cool. Any feedback about how this session went?
It was fun.
I
liked killing
enjoyed
the
the dramatic irony that happens from when we separate sometimes, and not all of our characters know everything about what's going on. I think it makes it interesting and gives you tools to play with it a little bit more. So as much as it is, like, unwise for us to keep doing that, I think it makes for more compelling storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's tempting to, like, listen in and act on that, but I know I shouldn't.
It's more interesting. to,
I think it's more fun. I think it's more fun to do the opposite, to just
Yeah.
like anti-metagame and do dumb stuff because you don't.
It's like my
your
character's so
wouldn't.
logical and, like, calculating, gotta...
Yeah, a story where everything goes well for everyone is not
It's not
an
fun.
interesting or
It's not a
challenging
story. Yeah.
Steve, I don't know if you remember in the new Cammack LARP, there was it played out very differently, but there was also a session where the mimes were first introduced was the Battle of Walmart.
Battle of a Walmart.
It was there was a big fight that played out in a closed down Walmart. That was actually part of discovering John Tenniel as a giant bat, which almost happened in this game, but things played out a little differently. I had a Battle of Walmart all planned out, but Tenniel never made it to Walmart. I found a very detailed floor plan for a Walmart.
Oh yeah, you sent it to us at one point.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is in the new Cammack LARP, also people perhaps overzealously responded to the mimes who were just being like kind of thieves and pranksters, responded to them with overwhelming violence. And
It's just like
there were interesting
did we.
consequences.
that's
of that.
how people respond to mimes. It's just a
Yeah.
natural human.
You should
reaction.
expect that.
Night rage. Doug Jones is the most polarizing as he is a mime.
Well, in that game, there were interesting consequences to the murder of mimes, and there have been, and perhaps will continue to be interesting consequences in this game from that.
But less than, like,
Bum,
people.
bum, bum.
So quality of the session, I think, top notch. Love it. Super fun as always. I feel like existentially cursed, where this open world allows us to do whatever we want, and then we end up doing something horrible and revealing that we are shitty people as our characters, and then I immediately like in real
We're
life
vampires,
feel
though.
just
We're evil.
absolutely incensed with like with guilt. We're like, yeah,
No,
these were
but-
super.
but you think about like It's Always Sunny. That show's good, but you don't want to identify with anybody on that show.
Oh
Like,
my
those are
God.
Or
bad
perhaps-
people. And
or
with
perhaps
Seinfeld
you
to
think-
a lesser degree, yeah.
Yeah, you think of another sitcom, perhaps.
Yeah. This is a sitcom, essentially. We're in a sitcom. It's Andy's favorite genre.
Oh my god, my least favorite genre. No, I find it hilarious, both hilarious and tragic at the same time. Where like Clark, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna explore this new terrible power I have I've never used before. Immediately regrets it, and then ooh, these mimes are being silly and bumping into us. They have my stick, and then immediately Archibald fucking just puts a hammer through one. I'm just like,
Well, you're
oh.
touching on the one of the main emotional themes of Vampire the Masquerade, which is like you are perhaps inescapably a predator, and you have to either fight against that, which requires a lot of like inner emotional turmoil, and it's very difficult. Or if you let that slip and you go with that, then you can lose yourself to those instincts and become just a completely mindless monster. And there's the phrase "a beast I am, lest a beast I become," that tries to convey the weird contradictory shit going on when you're playing a character in the world of darkness.
I mean, it's potent. It solicits real life emotions, which like makes for good storytelling. But damn, I feel real sad about those two mimes who just got murked. I assume they're.
I do not. I feel no regret.
I feel like that's
nothing.
why they were put there, was
Oh.
for us to kill them.
I almost forgot that you just killed a couple people. That calls for degeneration rolls. Let me.
I was not even intending. I was literally trying to kneecap them.
But they bled out.
I have
Oh.
low caliber pistols.
They have low caliber kneecaps. I don't know.
It's just a 9mm.
Can
I
I?
don't know.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? We did not kill any people in this session.
I know,
We killed a
I
couple
didn't
of
kill
mimes.
Look, I've Diablerized before, but I didn't kill anybody today.
I put a hole through that man in self-defense.
He put a hole through me emotionally.
Standard difficulty for all degeneration rolls is 8. Archibald, would you please give me a conscience roll? Difficulty of 8, and you have 2 dice for this.
2 dice. Oh, man.
Wow, that's not good. Finally, a bad roll today.
Oh.
Is that Darby too?
Oh yeah, Darby killed it.
Darby nailed it. Let me.
Yep, I have a high conscience.
So what does that do to me now?
Actually, Archibald, I see 3 conscience dice on your character sheet.
Oh.
I see 2 here and 3 there. How many do you see on your copy of your character
I
sheet?
see 2 on my thing in Roll20.
Okay, I think that's correct. I think you're supposed to have 7 in total. I don't want to cheat you out of a die.
So
I
what,
actually spent freebies on these.
So what should I do
Oh, actually, it's supposed to be 7 dots. It's supposed to be 9. So it makes more sense for you to have, unless if you got rid of a virtue dot in exchange for freebie points. I think you do actually have 3 conscience.
Oh, so should
There
I
you
roll
go.
one more?
Roll 1d10. Hey!
Ah, there we go.
Ooh.
Got it.
Wow.
Hey, dope. All right, it's
Wow.
a good thing that we double checked that.
Merciful God.
Benevolent retconning storyteller.
Mhm.
Ooh.
What would have happened? What was the consequence?
We'll remember
if I
this
failed
the
that?
next time we kill a mime.
If you had failed your conscience roll, you would have failed to feel bad about that mime that you killed, and that would have lowered your humanity by 1 down to 4, which is getting pretty low. And if you had botched, it would have also given you a derangement, but you succeeded in the roll, and the consequence of that is you perhaps eventually
Feel like shit about it.
Yeah, you feel bad about killing this mime, and you retain your humanity.
Oh no.
All right, well, I think that's it.
Darby feels terrible. Definitely did not intend to do that. Like, ooh.
Well, it's extra
way more
accidental.
blood than I thought. Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a good night, y'all.
Yeah. Till next time. Happy
Thanks,
Thanksgiving.
guys.